And this it'd be quite a good workout if you're going from squats to lunges,
So
different kinds
rapid
of lunges.
movement or consistent.
Consistent, not too much stopping in between.
Right.
Maybe at the start because you have to teach all of these things, but when your athletes or your team, once they get to know how to do all these things, you can have it moving. So we've covered the squats, the lunges, the crab walks. So another very important part is the hamstrings that we really want to work. Very important for knee strength because the hamstrings, come down more over the connect and below the knee.
If you turn to the side, I think he's going to be able to see
well,
you.
your hamstrings, when your hamstrings come down, there's so much there.
Yeah.
They come down all to the side of your knee, so they are involved more than you think. So we want to have good hamstring strength here.
Okay.
Again, like I said, you want to work the hips and the knees and the ankles all together, so they're all working together,
right,
which will help prevent. We want to keep the brain knowing that they're going to be working together instead of isolation. So let's do some leg curls on the ball. Okay.
Well, now, beside if you don't have a ball, maybe you could use a stool, step stool, or.
Well, I can show you another way to do that, but these are actually really good for the hamstring. So let's go into 10 hamstring curls, and she's pulling the ball in and out.
And she's off the ground.
I'm going to have you try this one too.
Yeah.
3.
I remember when we were going over what we were going to be doing, that this was something that I did with meniscus surgery that was very helpful, and back. Very helpful to the back.
You see how you mentioned that you did it all after you had meniscus surgery? Well, a lot of these things...
And I haven't done it since.
But the thing is, a lot of these exercises you will do after you've had knee surgery. But if you do them before you have surgery, you'll maybe not have to have surgery. So that's the whole idea.
I wish I met you before
Let's do
that.
a single leg. We're going to do a more advanced of this. So from 2 legs to doing 1 leg, which is much more difficult. So push that leg up in the air.
All right. So that leg isn't. It's on its own.
Yeah. Now she's just working this on her own.
So it requires balance because of the ball.
Yeah.
So you have to have strength in that to hold the ball straight.
Exactly.
Having the other leg not be part of it, so that's even more balance. And
yeah.
So this is like that other exercise doubled.
Exactly.
Maybe even more because you have to have more balance to it as well. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So do you want to give this a go?
Sure. How could I say no to a request
But you have done it before, right?
I have.
Oh well. A lot of times
throwing money around.
A lot of times people think this is an awful easy exercise, but if you try 1 leg, you'll probably cramp up. There you go.
And it requires some focus because the ball
it'll go
obviously
away on
is
it's
not stable.
Yeah.
So you got to engage
and this
the
one,
abs.
You hear a lot of athletes pulling hamstrings because, what happens is that if you increase the speed, and this is one exercise that you can really increase your speed on. If the hamstrings...
Increase the speed of doing it?
Increase the speed of doing it because when you're sprinting, your hamstrings are going real fast.
Yeah.
And if they're not used to that, that's how you pull a hamstring. Because they're just not used to it.
That's an experience I haven't had, and I don't wish to. So yeah, hopefully I'll heed this warning.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try to do this.
Try the single leg.
Is it like this?
Yeah. Just keep it out of the way and pull it in and out.
That was. I felt like Jerry Lewis there for a second. Oh yeah, this is
much harder.
Yep.
So that's the progression here.
Yeah, that's not an easy exercise. But these are all, no doubt.
And, if you're on a training field or at home or somewhere and you don't have the ball, you can just use a bench or a chair or anything. So if you want to go down there again, Jackie, we'll just do a bridge. You're not going to be able to
even with the soccer ball maybe, right?
You could do it with a soccer ball. You could put your 2 feet up here and out. Like so, turn your heels so they're flat. You're not going to be able to do the curling, so just push your hips up in the air now.
Okay, yeah.
As you can, so just a bridge up and down.
Yep.
Just keep going up and down. There you go, and down.
So you don't come all the way down to where you're
you go right
relaxed. You go to a point where you're still up in the air.
Go right down and touch the mat, and then straight back up again.
Yep.
and that is going to get your hamstrings working, and the glute area and everything. But I do prefer the curls because it's more active,